Hey guys, greetings and to welcome you again to in the programmer. In this video, we will continue from where we stopped up in our last video, and we are going to be looking into the DOM API and how to use it like a basic introduction. And we're also going to look into a couple of other things. So basically, at the starting of this video, as you can see, I've created a GitHub repository, and what I've done, I've just basically cloned the repository as you can see here. So after cloning the repository, I have this blank screen. Okay, so now what I'm going to do from here is I'll just create index.html, and the next thing I'll create is a script.js. Okay, so basically we're going to initialize index.html and just call it um, JavaScript series. Okay, and now coming back here, as I said in the last video, an API is a set of features and rules that exist inside a software program, and it enables interaction. So since we'll be playing with the DOM, I want us to look again what the DOM is. So a DOM is actually an API that represents and interacts any HTML element. So now we'll get back to our code to see how we can actually play with the DOM. So as you can see here, and in our body, we really have nothing. I just want us to link, sorry, I will just link to a script. Now within our script, we have nothing here. So within our body, I want us to display like maybe a paragraph to the page. Okay, or just give it an ID of paragraph. All right, I'm going to run it the live server. Live server is an extension that you can actually install. Okay, now you see this is it running on the live server. Basically here guys, so I can inspect and actually see what's happening within the console. Okay, so now that we have that up and running, we within the DOM, let's search a text content property. So the text content property represents the text content of the node and its descendants. So the text content gets the content of all elements, including the script and style elements. In contrast, inner text shows only human readable elements. So I want us to play around with this to actually see how the text content element looks. And remember, this is basically an introduction to this. In the upcoming videos, we're going to go deeper into the DOM and how it works. So now I'm going to select our paragraph, which is an ID. So now we'll get the element, we can get the element by class or by ID. Since we're using ID in this video, we're going to try to get the element and change the text content. So how can we get the element? We'll do document dot get element by ID, and the ID we gave was paragraph. All right. And now to change the text content, you can change the text content. You can change it to hey, I am Daniel. Okay. And now you may be wondering how we're going to see this on our live server. So I'm just going to reload this. As you can see, I've reloaded this and it has changed the text content of this. Before it was hey guys, now you have hey, I'm Daniel. So that's how basically how it works. Okay. Now aside this, all right, you can also use like JavaScript to create like a new HTML element, like a whole new HTML element programmatically. So now how can we do this? For example, let's go within our body. Let's say we'll consider adding an element which is the H1 tag. Let's say welcome to Daniel the programmer. Okay, now you see you have welcome to Daniel the programmer here. So now basically in our JavaScript we just use the text content to actually change. So I want us to, since we have created a new, I've added a new H1 element, we can basically create a new paragraph tag. We have the P tag already here, right? We can create a new P tag with a text content property of, and maybe add it to the end of our HTML body. So how can we create that with JavaScript? You can decide to use let. You can say let the element be equals to document dot or creating a new element and or creating a new paragraph. Okay, then we can take the element that we have created, right, to change the text content and give it hello world. Okay, now we're not going to stop here. Now we need to add the newly created element to the DOM. That's the document object model. Okay, so how are we going to add that? We can just do this. You can say document dot body, which is fine. The body will append the child to the element. So this is how we're actually adding the newly created element to the DOM. Okay, so you see here we have hello world. So I've actually added the element to the DOM. So if you see, it's going to change HTML body. Here we can, it's going to change the body to hello world. Okay, so that's basically it. All right. And now another thing we can do is, know that in order for us to be able to manipulate elements in the DOM using JavaScript, the JavaScript code must run after the particular element is being created. Okay, and there are different ways you can actually do this. Okay, but this is the best way you can actually do this. So another function I really want us to look into is the alert. So if you don't know what alert is, you can check here the window.alert method. So window.alert instructs the browser to display a dialog with an optional message. Excuse me. With an optional message and to wait until the user dismisses the dialog. And under some sort conditions, for example, when the user switches tabs, the browser may not actually display a dialog or it may wait to dismiss that dialog. Okay, so the it just basically display like an alert box on your screen. So now how can you do that? Since it's a window, we're going to try this out. But now it needs a parameter. So this is the method, right? That it actually needs a parameter. A parameter could be anything, right? Could literally be anything. So, but now here you discover that nothing is being really displayed. Okay, so we're going to try to just output and actually see. You see, here it has outputted hi guys. So for you to be able to use it, you have to click OK to be able to see. All right. So that's how the alert method works, and there are so many other methods. All right. So just literally output hi guys to the screen, and then from there you're able to use it as you want. So Basically this alert method is basically a property of the Windows object. All right. So you can see Windows alert hello world and alert hello world. So that's basically how it works. Okay. So you can like using console.log can help you like work as a pop-up and so on. So another thing you can use is the Windows.prompt. So it's also another method. Okay, so the Windows.prompt method instructs the browser to display dialog box. So as you can see, it's basically similar to the Alex. Like when the user clicks the OK button, the text entered in the input field is returned. If the user clicks OK without actually entering the text, an empty string is returned. If the user clicks the cancel button, the function turns null. So that's how basically it works. So let's see how we can do that. So the syntax, like it has the prompt. Where is that? Okay, it has a prompt, the message, and the default value. So let's see how we can do that. Let's say letter age, give us a prompt of how old are you? For example, then let's use a console.log that we learned in our first video. So let's see what we have over here. All right. Okay. I'm going to comment out this. So now it says how old are you? And you can give an answer. Let's say 32, for example. And once it gets the message, it brings you back to your own screen. So for example, let me refresh again. So you see here, if the user clicks OK, the OK button, the input value is returned. Otherwise, the method actually returns null, for example. All right. So the return value of a particular prompt, you should know it's always a string unless the user clicks cancel. Okay, in that case, it returns null. So basically, Safari is an exception in that when the user clicks cancel, the function returns an empty string. From there, you can convert that return value to another type, such as an integer. So you have to know that when this prompt that you see here is being displayed, the user is prevented from accessing some other parts of the page, like since the dialog boxes are the modal windows. So there's a particular version of Chrome that actually that this method is really blocked like with an iframe. So I take cancel, it returns back to the page, and if I reload and take OK, that happens. Alright. So another method I want us to look at is the window.confirm. So another method very important. It instructs the browser to display a dialog with an optional message and wait until the user confirms or cancels the dialog. So this is a syntax. Okay, if the window turns to leave and so on and so forth. So this MTN has everything you need. Alright. So dialog boxes are basically model windows. Okay. Okay. So depending on you, let's just try that out to see how it works. Now, after you've seen the syntax, so I can just say if window.confirm, let's say, are you sure you want to delete this? Okay, now let's say delete item. Oh, sorry. Oh, let's see how this looks like. So now I say, are you sure you want to delete this? So the output of the code look like if you need it for later use, you can basically store, like if you need it for later, you can basically store like maybe in a variable. Okay, but now we don't really need this for later use. Like talking about variable, if you need it for later use, what you can do is you can give it a delete confirm equals to window.confirm, and you say something like this: are you sure you want to delete this? Okay, something like this per se. All right, so if you take OK, keeps on and on, let's inspect and see. So keeps it fails to fetch. So yeah, so yeah, that's basically it. Another thing you can actually use the dump for is, you can use it as a canvas element. Okay, let's say you have a variable. See, first of all, we'll use a canvas maybe to build like image pixel information. Okay, and let's see how that goes. So you can say let canvas, since we're getting from the document dot, we have to create a new element, and the element I'll be creating is canvas. Okay, and now most of the times I can decide to give my canvas a width, canvas dot width of 500, canvas dot height of 250. Okay, and now, oh, I don't want this to keep repeating, so I'm just going to comment this out. All right, okay, this one. Comment this out and click OK. Refresh. I'll just refresh this to see how this looks like. Okay, so let canvas say that. So now the next thing I want us to do is to maybe select a context for our canvas in case that is two-dimensional. So I'll just add a comment and say let's select the context of the canvas. So how are we going to select the context? So I'll just give the context to be ctx. I'll say canvas dot get context. So since it's two-dimensional, I'll use 2D. And now we need to set different properties, different properties that are related to our text. Okay. So now how are we going to set the properties? I want to give it like a font, particular font size, a font of, let me say, 30 pixel. The shape, I want it to be cursive. Aside that, I also want to give it a few text. You can give it different properties. You can give fixed style, fixed regs, and fixed style. I'll just give it a property of fixed text and give it to, let's say, subscribe, for example. And I'll just give 50/50. Okay, let's see. Now that's not actually being displayed now. You may be wondering why it's not actually displayed. This is because we have not actually insert it into the page to take effect. Like if you see here, for this to take effect, we have to insert it into the page, like into the DOM, for example. So now how are we going to inspect this? We can also give it a document dot body dot append child of canvas. So now let's see. You see, we have our canvas button here, subscribe, that is taking into effect of the page. So now you can also use this for SVG. Okay, I'm going to use this link from ytimage.com to actually demonstrate SVG, like how it actually works. So now I'll just add a comment here, say using SVG. So now basically it's just the same process that will keep repeating over and over. You understand? So that's how it basically works. So I'm just going to give it a select my SVG equals to you may be watching document. Yeah, of course, document dot create element. Okay. And now our element that we'll be creating is we need to link for name spacing. I think we can use this. Okay. So we'll use this and SVG. And now I'll give it a dot width of 500. I give it SVG dot height. Oh, sorry, height of let's say 50. Let's see if we have something for SVGs. So maybe one was SVG. SVG has scalable vector graphics. It's an XML-based markup language for describing two-dimensional vector-based arrays. So SVG means a related behavior, and you can basically read much more about SVG on MTN, which I strongly recommend. So back to our code. So we've given our SVG width and height. Now we have to build a text element with the desired positioning and the font characteristics. Let me just say. Okay, so now how are we going to build the text element? So just since it's a text, I'm going to say document dot create element, and now the preferred link I choose to use is this. Okay, I'm going to paste the link here, and oh, sorry, let's see, take text parameter. Oh, then I'll set the the text attribute. So let's say x then 0. Okay, now the other attributes I would like us to set this section. But now what other attributes I can give it? Text dot set attribute for the y-axis. I'll give it 50. Oh, sorry. Another thing I can set the style text dot style dot font family. I'll just basically give it just a Times New Roman. You can basically use any font family of your choice, but for this video, I'll just go with Times New Roman. I also want to set the font size. So the font size of let's say 50. Okay. Yeah. All this font size of 50. So now I need to add like the actual text that will display like that, the actual text that will display to the text element. So how do we do that? It's using the text content. I've been looking at that since the start of this video. So I'll just say text content and give it for example. Okay, now you see, you may be expecting it to show, but there's one thing we've forgotten, that they are pen child. So the final thing we do is to add the text element to our SVG container. So now to add it to our SVG container, you have the SVG dot, oh, sorry, SVG dot append child, or append it to the text. So lastly, I think document dot body dot append child SVG. So yeah, so I feel like we don't really have, since we have image, these are image file that contains the desired text. We can add maybe the URL, for example, because these are text document that we created to take into effect this link. I feel like this link is basically not working while we're trying to build a text element. So I want us to create like a new image and see. I think we'll basically use this for our image. I'll just cut this out and put it somewhere here, for example, and we'll use this since it's for a text element and put it here. And now I want us to use the link. So select image equals to create a new image. All right, and we'll give that image dot source. So we're going to pass this image within the source tab because this is actually a root image. Okay, so I'll put this here, and now we're going to append the child document dot body, append the child which is the image. Okay, okay, don't think this is actually displaying here. Let's see what could be happening. How the text content, and let me try commenting this out and see what we have on our page. So basically it's failing to fetch it, but well, I feel like there is an issue with this and it's failing to fetch it completely. So this secured link seems not to be working, but this is basically, I think we have everything under control. We appended the child text, we set the attribute. So yeah, all right, but basically that's an overview of how to use, like, to play around with the DOM. All right, so yeah, in our upcoming videos we're going to dive deeper into JavaScript, looking at JavaScript variables, arrays and objects, the different types of variables, how we define how to use them. So this was just a basic introduction to the DOM and how to play around with text content. All right, so thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one. Bye for now.